Witch's Hill.
And how was that? How was your burger? Was it medium? Was it rare? Do you like it still bloody?
I don't, but I like my steaks nice and rare, though.
You like a bloody steak?
I love a bloody steak.
Ooh.
Dripping.
Ooh.
Oozing.
You know who also likes bloody things?
Me. And vampires. Welcome back to Witch's Hill.
That was magical again. This is the second time we've done that.
I thought you were going to say I'm Pat, because I was going to be like, yes!
Okay, hold on. Ready?
Welcome back to Witch's Hill. I'm Pat, and I'm Tim. And today on Myths and Legends, we're going to learn about the vampire. But before we get into it, if you have any inquiries, you can contact us at witcheshillradio@gmail.com.
And why not join us on an episode where we occasionally record on Facebook Live at facebook.com/witcheshillradio.
That was very nicely done.
That was so nicely done. We're going to confuse everyone. No one's going to know who's Tim and who's Pat.
Yeah. When did George get here?
George?
Yeah.
Georgie?
The SS Georgie?
The SS Georgie, he's on the table.
There's a bunch of blood on his little boat.
Yes.
The vampires got him.
So, yeah, what are we talking about today? I know we already said it, but...
We're going to do a deep dive into vampires, because this is the origins of horror, myths, and legends. So we're going to learn all about the vampire, and we're going to start off with the word vampire.
I guess we should actually start off introducing the fact that we have a couple people in the studio with us today.
Do you really want to qualify them as people?
I mean... We're joined by Meat Hankey and Matt.
Ouch. Hello.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, guys.
Your words hurt, but not as much as a vampire bite.
Well,
That's true.
have you been bit by a vampire?
I gotta go.
Oh, that's right. It's still light out. Get your umbrella. Explodes into dust outside.
As long as it's not glittery.
It's like, oh fuck, he was still wearing his sunglasses. He's gone. He's gone forever. He thought it was night.
Just like party confetti and
Poof. Just, oh. Wow, just
What
like a
the-
bunch of streamers and shit.
what the fuck is that?
The word vampire's origins are debated. Some think it's Slavic, while other people think that it has traces of Hungarian origins. Yes, the vampire has made a significant impact in horror. There's no not denying that, but where does the vampire actually come from? What's its history?
Because it's kind of... There's so many ways vampires have been shown.
Way too many.
I mean, we're going to be going through that later.
Oh.
I mean, I know you have quite a bit on that.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
It's a shady history, with many speculations becoming a stepping stone to most fans. The name vampire actually comes from the Albanian word dampir, Dhampir, which means to drink with teeth.
Drink with teeth.
Yes, it's kind of like, if you ask me, it's a little mind-boggling that they have a word that literally means to drink with teeth.
I mean, is that like if you're sipping something and you just clench your teeth and drink through your teeth?
I'm imagining like a very fine hypodermic needle, essentially as a tooth, and just draining it like that. That's just creepy and gross.
Yeah.
Like a natural little silly straw in your mouth.
I mean, it's not so silly if it's a hypodermic needle.
Why didn't they just call them mosquito men instead of vampires?
Mosquito men?
They call them mosquito men. It's like, that doesn't strike enough fear. Call them vampires. Oh, because they drink with their teeth.
But yeah, because wouldn't it be similar to the fangs of a spider, or like the nose of a or not
Like
nose,
an
but-
anteater?
No, not an anteater.
And what spider drinks blood?
Well, they have
The vampire spider, duh.
They're drinking just when you drink the inside. They're drinking all the organs, all the
it's not
inside.
just blood, but they like they're
It's venom.
yeah, well, yeah.
It's not the same thing. It's not suction. It's
They drain your
Yeah.
insides.
they drain your insides.
They suck the juices dry.
Yeah, so
I
do
guess
hookers.
think of that. It's more like a
Oh,
snake
boy.
or something, like injecting, and only instead of injecting, it's doing the reverse and drinking.
reverse. Yeah.
What if one of the spiders just like, hold up, guys, I gotta try something new, and he does it and just explodes.
It's like, holy shit, Crystal's my best friend. What happened?
It's working, guys. It's working.
Anyway, in the Oxford Dictionary, the word vampire comes around in the year 1734 to English-speaking countries. Apparently it's been around before then, but apparently in English-speaking countries, they finally put it in the dictionary. I guess a lot of people were just talking about it at the time.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah,
I
right.
guess.
One of the cases in which the word was used was in the title of an Anglo-Saxon poem called The Vampire of the Fens. The first English use of the vampire was John Polidori's The Vampire, published on April 1st, 1819. And I'm pretty sure it wasn't a joke. Get it? Because April Fool's Day?
Oh, no.
Oh, God. Though the idea of such a being comes much earlier in history, around 4000 BC. First heard in a myth from the Sumerians and Babylonians in which the Ikumu is a type of Uruku, or Utuku, which is actually... for those of you who aren't well versed in Sumerian or Babylonian, is a spirit or a demon who was not buried properly and has returned as a vengeful spirit to suck the life out of the living. I almost said a dick. Suck the dick out of a living.
Well, you did, so...
Margaret, it's got me!
Oh, man.
It's weird how many different actual types of vampires and the lore that goes into it.
Yeah.
It's also kind of crazy that just like so many cultures separated by thousands of miles or more and having never interacted with each other both have like this idea of like the vampire or something to that effect.
Yeah,
like in China has like their vampires are more about like energy draining life forces, whereas in Europe they have more of the blood drinking, but it's still the same sort of very similar like idea of the vampire, the undead coming and stealing life from the living.
Well, like we said, there's different variations of it, and
Exactly.
it all stems back from all these ancient times to where we see this fucking gorgeous-looking person, and it's just like, oh, they must be undead, and because they look hot or whatever, and it's like, oh, now they have teeth, but that was not what it was back in the day. If you saw a vampire back in the day, you fucking run. You fucking run. You do not look back. But we'll get into the specifications about each one of these, especially the Chinese one. There's a really weird one that we have to talk about in a little bit. But who we're gonna move on to right now?
An early version of a vampire?
Not as early as some of the other ones, but this is definitely
An iconic one.
a very iconic, if not the most iconic one. It's Vlad the Impaler, and everybody knows this person as Dracula.
Vlad Dracula.
Everybody knows Dracula, made famous by Bram Stoker, who used Vlad Tepes, aka Vlad the Impaler, as inspiration. No, Vlad was not a vampire that we know today. He was a prince of Romania. In fact, he was voivode of Wallachia, 3 times in his lifetime, in fact. He was the second son to Vlad Dracul, which I'm sure we could all, Dracula.
Yeah.
Yeah, move on with it, Dick. The thing that sticks out to most people when they hear about Vlad, unless you live in Romania, is the fact that he impaled his enemies. How did that start?
So how did that start?
Well, I'm glad you asked him. Well, his father and brother were actually captured for being betrayed by his own people and buried alive. Vlad the Impaler took revenge by, of course, impaling all who he thought were against him.
Everyone he thought was part of that betrayal.
Yes.
He was like, I'm going to impale you on my front lawn.
Dick in the butt. Stick in the butt for all of you.
Which I am going to point out that in Castlevania, they actually have...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's very brutal. I love it.
Fields.
Fields of just
Stick in the butt.
impaled skeletons.
Stick to the gooch.
Those are like...
And the gooch and into off to the mouth.
Oof.
Yeah.
What a way to go.
That's I know, that's fucking, I couldn't imagine that.
It's gravity that's killing you.
As we can see here by our personal advisor who used to work with Vlad, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Go for the gooch, sir. And he's like, oh, great idea.
Get right on through.
The area is really subtle.
Thank the History Channel
and
for that one.
This is the precursor to lawn gnomes.
Oh, fuck.
So, what about the versions of the vampire? Because it has changed over the years.
Well, there's many fucking different ones. In vampire folklore, a vampire initially looks like a soft, blurry shape with no bones, with red glowing eyes, and instead of a nose, had kind of like a sharp snout that it sucked up blood with, almost like
So he was like
an anteater.
So he was kind of like an anteater mixed with like a fucking overgrown chicken.
Apparently, and if it could survive for at least 40 days, it would then develop bones and then and a body, and became much more dangerous and difficult to kill.
So it started off as boneless chicken breast, kind of fucking suck your blood. That's what it sounds like to me.
The chicken went bad. We didn't cook it. It's coming back.
Oh god!
I even wrote down it sounds like someone didn't feed Gizmo at midnight, or fed Gizmo at midnight. Just changed. Fuck. I was like, oh, we got a vampire.
Oh man!
I thought we had a hamster. Going back to Greek mythology, a young adventurer. Actually, we just brought him up. Ambrosio was cursed by the god Apollo to marry his love Selene, which Apollo wanted for his son or for his own. The curse causes Ambrogio's skin to burn whenever he's exposed to sunlight. And just like that, you need UV 5000 and some sunglasses.
UV 5000.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That would be sucked to be cursed by a god who's like a vampire. It's like, fuck the sun.
Your dermatologist is going to get to know you very well at that point.
It's like, who's the guy running around with fucking, like, shaded rocks over his eyes? I was like, oh, that's Ambrosio. God hates him.
God said, fuck him.
You see, God hates me.
You see, God hates me.
That was also from Castlevania. You really need to see the second season.
I do.
Oh God.
Yes.
I know.
good.
All I've heard is just great things. The most familiar type of vampire is the kind that we know today as a revenant. A reanimated corpse of a human who comes back and drinks the blood for sustenance. A wooden stake through the heart could kill them, or if they were caught in the sunlight, they'd explode and burn to death, and they don't fucking explode into sparkles.
I like that you actually put that in the script. They don't friggin' sparkle.
I wrote this at like 3 in the morning. I was just like, fuck you. You don't sparkle. Actually, the Anne Rice 1976 novel Interview with a Vampire introduced us to the first modern theory of sunlight usage to kill vampires. But not so fast, sunlight. A different author was up to a different version in the mythical creature, one that could walk in the sunlight.
I can't take in any more breath.
Daywalkers.
Daywalker.
And there's the South Park reference.
Yes, in every episode. In the 1819 novel, The Vampire, spelled V-A-M-P-Y-R-E,
Vampire.
By John William Polidori, Lord Ruthven and Varney from... What?
Varney the Vampire.
Oh yeah, Varney the Vampire. Written in 1845 by James Reiner and Thomas Prest, are among the first fictional vampires who had the ability to move in sunlight.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, well, what if they did walk in sunlight? Well, that's the one thing that kills them. Well, let's have it not be. Fuck Apollo. Wait a minute. I just got a quick question. Why did the god of music curse him with the sun? Questions for later.
Okay, that's interesting.
It just dawned on me. Yet there's an even older version of the vampire. One that instead of being of a human nature, it was supernatural, or possibly of demonic nature. But they didn't take the form of a human. It was once thought that the vampire belief arose in ancient Egypt, summoned by sorcery. In Asia, there's one called Shang-Chi, draining the living of their energy and drinking their blood. Deities from the Tibetan Book of the Dead.
Oof.
Yeah. That's just a creepy book.
That's another one I would love to have on my... I got a list of books I really want on my esoteric bookshelf that I'm making, and that is definitely among one of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of Playboys on there.
There's nothing on there because we haven't built it yet.
What am I looking at?
You're looking at your fucking search history.
Oh. Fuck, we're on air.
Just X out of that really quick.
I'm not looking at vampiric porn. Get out of here, guys.
Oh.
I like me some teeth.
Speaking of Queen of the Damned, but that's for later.
But moving across the ocean here, let's go over to India. An evil sorceress who hates all men will fly on the back of a tiger. Yes, I said fly. She goes to the man's house and puts him into a trance, when she will then drain him of his blood, specifically through his big toe. It's like a built-in fun straw. Wear iron boots to sleep. That is an old belief in India about vampires.
Okay.
Yeah, wear some heavy-duty socks.
Speaking of India, though, they had stories about the Vitalis ghouls who lived in corpses of dead people and animated them.
No, so they just kind of like it was like a really fucked up case of possession in a way.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, no one's using this.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna take this for a test drive. Oh shit!
I'm gonna fight this dude. Oh fuck! What did I do?
Let me just suck on his toe for a minute.
Okay, so I'm a vampire, but how do I do? What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, can you imagine that waking up at night just like vampire?
Sucking my toe.
Oh my god! Kick it in the face. Oh man.
That's how they have fangs, because he cracked his fucking tooth.
Oh my god. Can you imagine that they kick out the front 2 teeth, and so the fangs are just left, and they're just like, that's not normal. It's like, you kicked me in the face, Billy.
What are you sucking on my toe for, John? God damn it!
I'm a vampire. He and jumps out your window.
This is the 3rd time this week. Stop it!
Get better locks.
God, I gotta work in the morning.
Oh man. All right, let's move on from India. Let's go to Brazil.
Okay,
Say hello to Brazil's vampire, the Lobisomem.
that's a mouthful.
Yes,
Lobisomem?
Lobisomem.
Lobisomem.
Lobishomen.
Lobotomy.
Close. These beasts are hunchback and hairy with horrible skin and black teeth. From this version, it only preys on women, and after they're bitten, they become nymphomaniacs. That's kind of like a succubus in a way, like a
Yeah.
just like, I'm a vampire. No, you're just a whore. Stop it.
Oh my god.
Know what you are if you're gonna do it.
Vampire sluts from Brazil.
That sounds like a bad movie.
I would watch it.
I'd watch it too.
I'm willing to bet that that's been Rule 30 forward.
Probably.
Specifically that.
Yeah.
If anybody has a link to that,
Vampire sluts from Brazil. Oh man,
God, dude.
I know it's
You
gonna
are
be on
opening
everyone's search history now.
I know it's gonna be on mine because I need to know.
I need to know too. All right, let's go somewhere else now.
How about way in the far long ago?
That was a great build up to that.
Millions of years
man.
ago into the future.
Mesopotamia, 4000 BC. A tiger hunts me. Sorry. In 4000 BC, Lamashtu, a rogue goddess, described as having the head of a lion with donkey ears and teeth and bird feet, she kidnaps children because, well, she can, chewing on their bones and drinking their blood. The last ones I'll mention are the Malaysian vampires, known as the Penanggal. I don't know how to...
I'm sorry. That
Penangala. Penangala? Known as the Penangala.
it's Banangala. Banangala.
I don't know where the bananas are coming
Panangala.
You must fear it.
Don't want to attack our don't shit on our Malaysian fans. Come on now.
No, I cannot pronounce, like, anything. I am, like, from everything from like, the very
You
beginning.
are white as fuck.
Yes! Dude, I'm still sitting here just like, I cannot believe that I fucked up that one thing. It's not Elephant Centauri. What is it? Reticuli? And he's just like, reticuli. Reticuli. And I'm like, oh.
It was so quiet because you're saying it. I'm like,
Save me. Reticuli.
I listen to a lot of alien nerd shit though, so it's like,
I do, but I just like, where's the aliens? And like, that's all I'm all about. I'm just like, show me something fucked up. I'm not listening to the actual facts. Oh, fuck. Alright. So the last ones I'll mention are the Malaysian vampires, known as the Penangala, which is a decapitated woman's head with hanging entrails that flies around and attacks. It can also go through walls and make its way through small spaces in your floorboards. If the bloody entrails touch you, you can expect to have constant sores developed on the infected areas.
That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, but you want to know something funny? I completely forgot to write this down. But as I was looking into it, you want to know what they said? Like, you know a good way to prevent this? Put some broken glass and nails on your windowsill so when she flies in, it gets caught in its entrails get caught and it's like, I can't reach you.
what if you have a bed right next to the window?
Well, you're fucked.
You imagine just waking up to that though?
Imagine laying in bed fapping and then the window open and suddenly just right on your dick. Now you got sores, constant sores all over your dick and balls.
It's not what the
Yeah, but you
fuck
could hold on to the
think.
head forever and be like, fuck.
Oh my god.
You can reverse that
Ew.
shit right around. What? If she's there to give me sores, I'm gonna give her something too.
Holy shit.
It's a dead woman.
The look on everyone's face when you said that. It's like he immediately wanted to be offended, but you're just like, you can't be offended because it's this, and then there's a whole other level.
That's what I said.
Never practice.
Oh. What?
Never practice necromancy, please, because I feel like you'd be a fucking necrophiliac.
Don't go down to my basement. My
Perverted
old dead
necromancer.
things are down there.
What the fuck are you doing?
all I wanna-
Practicing.
All I want to say is Nikki is a lucky woman.
Yeah, she is.
Hey, babe, you know that if you ever died, I would just bring you back, right? What?
What?
Why'd you bring a hot plate to the funeral?
Oh, holy shit.
Well, let's go into the lore behind vampires now.
Yes, and I'm not into dead bodies. They're into me. I'm sorry, I'm just...
You're not sorry,
Is
don't
it
lie.
Cannibal Corpse, or who was it? The one song where it's just about blowing a load in a dead person's hair.
Oh no! That's oh my god!
Not to bring it to that.
That's good.
but-
The song is called "Code Blue" by TSOL.
Oh god, TSOL, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, no,
They're called "Blue Flesh Makes Me Turn Red,"
that's all that was playing in my head as I was just like saying all that shit.
and I don't even care how she died, but I'd like it better if she smelled of formaldehyde.
God damn it.
Jesus.
It's such a great song.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man!
Alright, so let's move on to the lore.
And away from corpse fucking.
I guess. For now, okay? The next one's hysteria.
Oh, we're saving it for that.
No, we're saving it for many things. Okay, so the lore behind all these vampires vary. Some can change into a bat, where some can change into wolves, rats, moths, or even foxes. They don't cast reflections, and they definitely cannot eat at Olive Garden. There are many variants.
What the fuck did Olive Garden have to do?
Garlic!
Garlic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the three of us got it.
That went right over my head. I was just like, wait, Olive Garden?
Yeah.
I'm craving that soup and breadsticks, actually.
Oh, man.
Endless.
Endless.
As the vampires are just clawing at the window, like, we'll get you.
Nah, bitch, this is endless. I'm here forever now.
They got a bathroom. They got more food, endless food. I'm good. What do I need? I can just die here.
Damn, vampire, maybe we should just leave.
We could just survive off the breadsticks alone. Try harder. You suck.
In an old Romanian tale, they describe how to lure out a vampire by using a 7-year-old boy and a white horse.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yes. A vampire hunter was a real thing, and I can't help but laugh at trying to imagine, let's say, Van Helsing trying to convince someone to let them use their child to lure out a demon.
So, all right. I got this idea. We're going to get rid of these vampires, okay, right, guys?
All right, guy. Yeah.
I'm going to need your kid. I'm going to need your 7-year-old kid, and I'm going to use him as bait. Just trust me on this. Don't think about it.
Scott, get over here.
All right, cool. Let's go hunt these vampires.
Jebediah is kind of busy milking the cows. I don't think he can do that. Jebediah, get back to the fucking field.
We've been running low on fucking food rations, so you know what? We're gonna have to give something up. Come here, Scotty.
Oh my god, is that like Jack and the Beanstalk, where he's just like, I'm gonna go fucking...
Yeah, except Jack dies.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Hey, it's like the Titanic.
Oh no.
Aw, every rose has its thorn.
Oh, man.
Oh shit. What?
I was just gonna say that little boy's like the goat in Jurassic Park.
Just like
and the
a
vampire is the
vampire.
T-Rex.
Just gone.
Whoa.
Billy's leg lands on the window. Oh my god!
Hey, more food rations. Diseases like anemia, which seemed like bloodlessness, along with hemerolopia, which is day blindness, and hematodypsia, which is the thirst of blood, kind of portrayed things in like a very, very bad way. and porphyric disorder, which is a rare skin disease which creates photosensitivity in its victims. In extreme cases, the skin swells into red bulges when exposed to sunlight. All of this fueled the belief in vampires tenfold, because back in the day, like, medical things were not even heard of. It was just like, oh, rub some dirt in it, have your aunt spit on you.
Yeah.
I've also heard, like, another example of, like, diseases causing the idea is, like, I've read tuberculosis, because of the wasting disease. You wasted away, looking more corpse-like, essentially.
Yeah.
And people being diseases, not knowing how infections and diseases work, they just would assume some metaphysical explanation for it.
An act of God.
Act of God, and vampires being one of those things, like, they're trying to spread the disease and kill you by drinking your blood.
Yeah.
And not like they would know, because whenever someone would try to help them with scientific advances and cures, they would think that they're a fucking witch. So
Yeah, actually, that is very true.
Yeah.
Sadly. Alright, so let's jump on into hysteria, because hysteria is like a great little spice, right? In the Middle Ages is when the vampire we know today came around, known as the Revenants. People can apparently tell that if your kid was born in a very specific way, that in the future it would turn out to be a vampire. If you had red hair, an amniotic membrane over your head, amongst other reasons, they'd say that you would become fucking death incarnate after you've died and come back, or somewhere later on in life.
So that was early on. They took on the Cartman ideology.
The Cartman idea? What?
The Cartman ideology.
The gingers.
The gingers.
Yeah, Daywalker. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was a real fucking thing. That's really fucked up.
yeah,
That's really fucked up.
that was 12th century England too.
Doesn't surprise me. I mean,
Yeah.
You went against anything, the church, the way that they did everything. They'd just be like, well, we need a reason to prosecute you, or rather, the lack of proof. You know, it's like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It didn't help that once the idea of the vampire was spread, people tended to lean towards the idea that vampires were cursing them for any bad luck that they actually might have. With the dead coming back and them coming to drain their blood and so on and so forth, why not curse them too? Therefore, it must be vampires. It has to be vampires. You stub your toe, vampires.
Oh yeah.
There's a bug on my corn, vampires, bro. You got them. Protect yourselves with the wooden stakes and garlic bread, because they're coming, folks. No, but seriously, due to the fact that no one really knew what happened to the body after it was set into a grave, so essentially, after somebody was buried, they had no idea what the body actually looked like. So after they exhumed certain of the bodies, or I think exhumed is the right word, right?
Yes.
They dug these people up, looked at them, and in certain cases, like, let's say if one of us passed away, and then 4 days later we went back and looked at the body, we'd think that would look the exact same. But once you looked at the body, you could see that, you know, rotting has started to take place. Your body is super thin and, like, withered and stuff. That gave way to the belief that they would come back as vampires, because people, like, once you're on the ground, you're in the ground. It's almost like sacred ground in a way.
Yeah.
Except for those fucking dirty grave robbers, which, mind you, you can thank for the advancement in medical history, but that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Whole other can of worms.
The fucked up part is that they believed the first victim of a vampire would be their wife, leading widows to alter their appearance after their husband had been laid to rest. Don't need to deal with that shit after they die. Like, oh, I'm coming back to kill you, bitch.
Well then.
No escape. No escape. The hysteria got a little bit out of control, which led to more popular beliefs at the time, such as burying dead bodies face down so that after becoming a vampire, it could dig in the wrong direction and get lost somewhere in the earth.
Okay.
Yeah, just like, it's in a cave somewhere. Don't go in there.
They're smoking some of that satanic spinach.
Yeah, in their little caves and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet vampires made Machu Picchu, too. If someone consumes a goat that was killed by a wolf, he or she will turn into a vampire within 42 hours. In varying folklores, a person can also be turned into a vampire if they commit suicide, practice sorcery, or stepped over an unburied body. Like, oh, pardon me, why'd you leave your grandma there? What the fuck? I almost just tripped over her. Who does that?
Who does that?
Apparently people back then.
Bring out your dead. Okay,
Oh,
I did.
damn it,
Now
I
what?
did it.
Now what?
Vampire! Vampire!
We didn't think that far.
Oh no!
Dead bodies on the lawn. The owner's the vampire. You did this. In order to stop it, we obviously have to talk about protection, too.
Okay.
We don't need a lot of condoms.
So no ribbed.
Ribbed for the deathly pleasure?
Yes.
Oh. Fierce. And that's what they're really coming back for.
Yep.
What is going to stop these beasts from coming back? Trapping them. If they were pinned down by something, perhaps a stake, then it would be unable for them to come back and harm the living. The torso was chosen for obvious reasons, though traditionally the vampire didn't have a weakness to wood, but rather iron. Speaking of the weakness, garlic and bricks were also used and put in the dead person's mouth to keep them from coming back. Most times, the head had been decapitated first, so I don't know. Would that work in that whole the one from earlier about the head and the entrails and stuff? Like, what if it came back and just had a big thing of garlic in its mouth? It's just really pissed off. It just headbutts you to death. Soaks up all the blood through the garlic.
Garlic knots.
Now I really want some fucking garlic knots.
Like, if there's ever a 30 days a night situation, we just gotta hide out at Olive Garden, would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stake you with the breadstick.
Huh?
I forgot about that one.
What, 30 days a night?
30 days a night.
That's one of my favorites. But let's say they're about to attack you. What can you do to protect yourself? Well, depending on the source and type of vampire, you could use religious items such as a crucifix or a protective amulet, holy water, but honestly, that idea didn't really come into play till much later. Like, as just certain religions came into play.
Yeah.
Okay.
That whole thing, like, oh, God will protect you. And it's like, well, I mean, Apollo did this, but whatever. Just saying.
I bear the cross. Leave me be.
Gods are fickle things. They do as they please.
They're mad.
They're
mad
bored. Let's be
Pissed off
real.
kids with an anthill.
But you can also prevent them from attacking by carrying a bag of salt on you. Yes, the lucky bag of salt. If you're running from a vampire and they haven't gotten close to you yet, release the salt on the ground behind you, and the vampire, under vampire law, of course, must stop, and the vampires are obligated to, what? Oh, that's right, count every individual grain of fucking salt.
So, in this case, he tells me this earlier, and I'm thinking, so if Dale Gribble had a fucking pocket sand, he would be safe from vampires because he would just be like, pocket sand!
Well, it's pocket salt.
Thank
but
you.
yeah.
Pocket salt.
I was
Pocket
literally
salt.
just gonna say
Shasha!
pocket sand.
Exactly. You just got a pocket salt! And just Dale Gribble yourself out of the situation. You heard it here first, guys.
And obviously don't let them into your house. Don't be like, oh, come on in. They'll fuck you up.
They
That'd
will
be-
fuck you raw.
They'll fuck you raw.
You just imagine, though, they're just like, oh, damn it, you threw the salt. 1, 2,
He's just a slow counter, too.
3, fuck. He keeps losing fucking count. You just sit there and fuck
No,
with
I just
him.
kick him in the face.
Guys, I think we all know for a fact if he was going to count, the way he would count would be
1, 2,
2,
He'd only get up to 3 and then stop.
Yeah.
Just
He's like,
stare.
what's his life? Oh. Fun fact, the prefix count used with Dracula belongs to the traditional myth that bound a vampire to count mustard seeds whenever thrown at him, similar to the whole salt theory thing. So, count Dracula? Yeah, well, he's got a weakness and it's nothing really physical. Just, count it.
Count these seeds, bitch!
Like,
It's an addiction.
what
I'm
if you-
not proud of it.
What if he wasn't, like, educated well, though?
Right.
Sounds like he's just OCD then.
Yeah.
Right, it's an interesting idea that's like they're so obsessed with like the idea of counting mathematically. Is like mathematics is just like, why that?
Yeah, of all things, just like, well, if you do this, they'll have to count it. Why? It's a vampire law. How do you know that? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Speaking
Who
of
wrote
that,
this
though.
vampire law?
Well, everybody knows that's Apollo.
Speaking of that, though, have I told you guys that...
You're a vampire?
Yeah, no, that nightmare that I used to have when I was younger about the Count killing my friends and counting
Oh, yeah, you
them.
told me that.
Counting
Yeah.
how many friends he's killed while I'm running through a fucking hallway that just keeps going. And
12!
you have
I've
a
killed
fucking-
12 of your friends!
But, like, puppet him covered in blood.
You
And
wanted
just,
to
like,
make that into a short. I remember that.
Yeah, which would be, I mean,
It'd
funny
be hilarious.
as fuck.
I mean, we'd have to get, like, not sued.
If
but-
any, if any of our listeners want to help fund that,
Call him the Duke. We'll call him the Duke.
Some vampires get tired after they get their fix of blood and pass out, almost like they got too high or something. This gives you the perfect time to crush their skull or leave them out for the rising sun to cook or explode.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, you eat a big meal and then you get tired and need a nap.
Oh, he tuckered out, and he's like, blood.
I mean, how many people, listeners, and even you guys, just eat a big meal and just like, I'm gonna take a nap now.
Oh yeah.
Never.
All the fucking time. Naps are amazing.
So like, the vampire hunters would have somebody then, right? That would just be like, oh man, like I can't wait. I idolize you so much. Oh my god, yeah, we're gonna hunt vampires. He's gonna be the food.
Yeah, a 7-year-old.
Like, literally.
Yeah, it's gotta be a 7-year-old.
Yeah,
and a white
That's
horse.
Fucked up.
That's super fucked up. Well, I mean, I don't know if they're using it to track that out. I wonder if they ever just like, oh well, we lost your kid.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Where'd you lose him? Well, in the teeth of a vampire. Right? Did
you see the vampire? No, he fell off a cliff.
Yeah. Holy shit.
I'm guessing we can infer that the white horse probably is because the white horse represents the pale horse of death. So white horse,
Okay, Johnny Cash.
Like you have a child who is all about like representing life. Then you have the fucking.
That's when the man comes around.
That's when the man comes around, killing vampires. Johnny Cash, Vampire Hunter.
Johnny Cash, Vampire Hunter. Oh, I'd endorse that movie. But speaking of...
The sequel to Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter.
Great, the Man in Black. He's just playing to a bar of fucking vampires and then he just fucking annihilates everybody. Let's start that shit. Let's fund that. Let's get that going.
Dibs.
Speaking of real vampires, not fucking... I almost said Johnny Depp.
Still not deniable.
You just want him to be a vampire.
Him and Keanu Reeves, there's fucking evidence that
Evidence of what?
Keanu Reeves is a fucking treasure.
Yeah, you leave him alone.
He is. He's a beautiful treasure.
He could be a demon. He could be fucking just like doing anything to Satan.
I have
and
no
I'd
problem
love
with him. I'm just
No
saying,
one that
like, if
nice
he's a
to be a
vampire,
demon.
share that
Or
shit.
exactly why.
Well, I mean, have you ever seen Devil's Advocate?
Oh man.
Just sad.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of real vampires, I would be remiss if I was to not mention Countess Elizabeth Bathory. She is considered a true vampire. Well, about as real as you can actually get.
She also spawned a fucking metal album. I have to throw this in there. I've been waiting until you bring this up, and I'm just throwing this in there as a little nugget of information. Cradle of Filth's Cruelty and the Beast, all based on her. Fucking love that album.
She also had the appearance in Stay Alive as like the main baddie in the video game.
I actually, when I went to the Dells last year, I got to go to the Ripley's
Believe It or Not
thing, and Vlad the Impaler and her had her own thing, or had their own thing, and it was I was in heaven. It was so cool.
Well, speaking of Elizabeth Bathory, between 1590 and 1609, she killed an undocumented amount of people. She is ranked as the most prolific female serial killer by the Guinness Book of World Records. She was a noble woman from Hungary. Her family name, Bathory, ruled Transylvania in the Kingdom of Hungary. I almost said Hungary. Elizabeth ran an estate, one of which where her husband would have lived if he wasn't always away. Unfortunately, he died in 1604. Word spread to everyone about her evil doings. She apparently loved to kill young girls. She started with people at the time who couldn't do much of anything, like peasants and servants. After time had passed and she began to get more chaotic, she began killing girls from upper scale families. Some were sent to her to be trained in mannerisms and stuff, to become more elegant.
So what exactly would she do when she killed these people?
Well, Elizabeth drank the blood of her victims, believing that if she did, she would become youthful and preserve her looks.
And she would also take baths in their blood.
Yeah, she'd just cover herself like a turkey in some gravy.
Imagine a fucking like clawfoot tub filled with blood.
Yeah, no, and like have someone hanging, and she would like cut their throat, and it would
just like
pour down like on her, and she would think that would help her stay.
It's just a really
It's rain and virgin. Hallelujah.
just a vain woman. Just really did not like the idea that she
Yeah.
would lose her
Very,
beauty.
very
Just
vain.
I want a
vain
picture
to
of
the worst degree.
I want a picture of her on a slip and slide of blood, looking the happiest in her life.
Holy shit.
I want that, and I want to put it on my wall.
Someone please make that. That would be great.
Oh, I would love you. I'll give you the biggest shout out ever.
That'll go right in our studios.
Oh, definitely. She would stab her victims with various items, scissors, piercing their lips with needles, using hot iron rods to melt their fucking skin. She tortured them consistently. She died due to
Some died.
Wow, I stuck. Some died due to what she was doing to them. Others died from starvation. She just wouldn't feed them. Varying sources say that she actually might have bathed in their blood. Might have. Rollo. Might have. No, she probably did. She's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Rather than let's say, washing her face. Because I did mention that. She just, just a little bit here, a little bit there. No, I mean, if you want to go full scale, she definitely fucking bathed in that shit. Like, with how many people does they suspect her to really have killed and stuff? Like,
I mean,
all the people that keep coming there.
Yeah.
Did you diddle yourself, Matt?
That's what she was probably doing in that bath.
Oh, man.
Just like, blood.
No, like, she had her own torture chamber, too. Like, you know.
Well, when she was eventually caught, she got away with it.
What?
Along with her arrest were 4 of her servants who were suspected of being her accomplices. 3 of which actually were put to death, while the last one was given life in prison. Elizabeth, however, due to her family's standing in the community, was banished to a castle and solitary confinement, dying from natural causes at the age of 54 in the year 1614.
That is fucking crazy.
Which is absolutely nuts.
Which I will say, with the Stay Alive film, they referenced two of the things that you had said. She killed one person with a pair of
Scissors.
Yes, and then she was confined to
Which they, for some reason, was just like, oh yeah, this is in the middle of one of the states, and
it's gonna be in the bayou. Like,
so nice.
it's on a it's on a plantation. Like, what?
I get the idea, but anyway. Tim, what are we talking about now?
So, since we're talking about some, real life cases of vampires, I would be remiss if I didn't bring in my serial killer knowledge to the table. And I wanted to talk about Richard Chase.
Yeah, you were excited when you found this one.
Yes, the vampire of Sacramento.
Sacrilege.
He was a serial killer who, of course, took place in the late 70s. I feel like a lot of them. The 70s was a bad time for fucking killers. He had the kind of the stereotypical sociopathic upbringing. Very abusive, traumatic experience with his parents. He was a chronic bedwetter for many times, very cruel to animals. And then he started abusing drugs and alcohol really young age.
So almost like a pinpoint thing of if you see this, your child's a murderer.
I mean, honestly, yeah, he really hit every nail on the head.
Okay.
In that respect. And it also didn't help that he was, honestly, he was a paranoid schizophrenic.
Oh, it doesn't help anything.
He would complain on occasion that his heart would stop beating, and he believed that, he lacked vitamin C. So as a result, he would hold oranges up to his head, thinking that his brain would absorb all the vitamins that it needed.
I've been that high before.
Orange, you glad you didn't say banana?
Oh, man. I mean, he also shaved his head because he believed that the bones in his skull had become detached, and they would be moving around. And so shaving his head was a means of monitoring that activity. So clearly he's got something wrong. And he was actually diagnosed as a paranoid schizophrenic and was institutionalized in about the mid-70s when he was found injecting rabbit's blood into his veins.
Did he ever take acid? Because it feels like he took acid.
I think he took acid.
It was the 70s. I'd be surprised if he didn't.
Yeah.
And when he was institutionalized, this was actually because of his massive interest for blood. All the people there dubbed him Dracula. This is a guy that actually got the nickname Dracula. It's fucking the fuck. And then he was released, which is when shit got interesting.
What did
Let's
he
let him
look
go.
like?
Actually, here's a picture. Right there.
I can actually fucking see it. Like,
He looks like the kind of guy who'd be into blood.
Kind of looks like what's the word? An album cover.
yeah.
Yeah.
Vampire days.
So once he was released, he moved out of his parents pretty quickly because he believed his mom was poisoning him. So he just pretty much got a shared house with a bunch of friends. And this is where, his antics of being obsessed with blood, kind of walking around naked all the time, being high all the fucking time, his roommates were like, get the fuck out. And he said no, so they pretty much all moved out.
Did they ever say like what he was high on, whether it was just weed or if it was like meth or something?
Because that's what I was wondering too.
Yeah.
You know what? I if I dug further, I probably could find it, but as of right now, I don't officially know.
Nice little cocktail of everything.
Yeah, I'm just going to assume
Smoking
that.
Jeffrey.
I'm just gonna guess that he had a lot of Elmer's glue sticks. Some Sharpies.
Tripping on acid. The bone fragments in my face are loose.
I'm a vampire.
I got one
Sipping that Sharpie.
Feel it when I do this.
Well, now think about it. Now he's alone in his house. So now's when shit starts to get fucking real. And it started with capturing and killing small animals.
So his roommate's kind of fucked up on that by leaving and letting him have all of that room. He's like, well, I better make some.
Well, I mean, it could go one of two ways. I mean,
Could kill them.
Yeah, because considering where he's about to go, they're probably safe.
But at the same time, it could be up to speculation. Like, if they were to stay, maybe they would have like had him like anchored there a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe
but,
he would have been a little more anchored into reality.
Yeah, it's possible. But
It is possible, but it's hard to say.
Yeah,
on their
right.
part, you got to pick your battles, and that's a hill. That's not the hill I'd want to die on, Mister. I am obsessed
Your
with blood.
naked roommate killing you. Like, son of a bitch. Like,
I got a collection of rabbit skins.
You want to know some of the other things that he would do?
show this to you.
What?
He would, when it came to these small animals, he would capture them and sometimes eat them raw or blend the organs with soda and drink the mix.
Coagulated Coca-Cola. Just, it's
Ugh.
like
Oh,
gelatin.
Gotta love me some good fucking Coke and blended heart.
This is some thick ragu.
Oh, God.
Like, that just makes me think of the Mountain Dew thing where they they simulated what it would look like if a rat carcass was to soak in Mountain Dew for
it dissolves it.
It turned into like gel. It was fucking disgusting.
Who the
Like,
fuck did that?
It was a
Scientists.
scientific thing because of the person saying that a rat was inside of their pop.
Oh.
So they
proved
did that to scientifically, yeah.
Yeah, it proved it was impossible
US.
because it would have just deteriorated, it dissolved into a mess.
So it was December 29th in 1977 when he got his first taste of murder.
Murder.
It was pretty much just a drive-by shooting. Personally, I feel like this is him just kind of feeling out the whole avenue of committing murder. He killed Ambrose Griffin. He was a 51-year-old man who was just helping his wife bring in groceries.
And he was the one doing the drive-by, or was he just there?
He was, Ambrose?
The guy who fucking...
Richard Chase?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is his first actual murder. He just killed the person in the drive-by.
Okay. I didn't know if he just like witnessed it, if he was just there or what, but okay. Okay.
But it was then it started getting really terrifying. And this is when I told you this, Pat. You were actually like, holy fuck, I know this fact.
Oh, yeah, I don't like this fact.
Then every murder after that, it pretty much hinged around his ability to actually get into a house. And what he would do is he would just go door to door and just check the door. If it was locked, he would move on. If it was unlocked, he took that as a sign of, well, I'm welcome in then. And he would enter the house and commit murder. So think about that when you don't lock your house at night, people.
Not very vampiric, but I mean...
Well, I mean...
Just the whole, like, inviting in type thing is what
Yeah.
I'm getting at. But, no, everything else is, like... You can't get much more, like, a bathery like that unless he starts bathing in that shit.
So, I'm just going to go through a couple murders. Just
a couple.
Just a couple. These are pretty fucking graphic. It was on January 23rd, 1978, that he entered the home of Teresa Wallen, who was pregnant, through her unlocked front door. He shot her 3 times and proceeded to stab her with a butcher knife and have sex with her corpse before cutting out her organs and drinking her blood. Reportedly, as I don't know why they would put this in there, but it was reported that he used a yogurt container as a cup.
Yeah, that's kind of weird that they ended that with that. Just like, oh yeah, he's the yogurt cup.
Yeah. That's interesting little fact.
I only have one question for that. Was it like the Yoplait one, or like
what brand was this?
Yeah, I mean, like,
did he eat the yogurt first?
No, he probably mixed it in there just like with the animal guts and shit.
I mean, maybe he liked to fucking make the mixed drinks.
Is it a strawberry or an eye?
Like, in that mindset of just being so far fucking gone. I mean, like,
actually,
who knows? Like, he probably brought that to snack on, and then was just like, well, might as well.
When in Rome,
well, murder.
You know, it's funny that you bring up, like, is it a strawberry or is it an eye? Because that has to do with the next murder.
Oh, what?
Just 4 days later. The victims included Jason Miroth, his mother Evelyn Miroth, and a friend named Dan Meredith. Meredith was murdered in the hallway, dead by a gunshot wound to the head. Chase subsequently stole his car keys. Evelyn and Jason were found in Evelyn's bedroom. 6-year-old Jason had been shot twice in the head. Evelyn was partially cannibalized. Her stomach was cut open and she had multiple organs missing. There was also a failed attempt to remove one of her eyes, and she had been sodomized as well.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And this is noted from allthat'sinteresting.com. Is that it? Or am I reading that wrong?
Yeah, allthat'sinteresting.com is what this is all noted from. 22-month-old David Fiera was Evelyn Miroth's nephew, who she was babysitting, and was the only one missing from the scene of the crime. The child's decapitated corpse was found months later behind a church.
That's fucked.
That is fucked.
It came out during the trial that a knock of a visitor startled Chase, who took Fiera's body and fled via Meredith's stolen car. The visitor alerted a neighbor, who then called the cops, and they were able to identify Chase's handprint in Miroth's blood.
That's also fucked.
When the police searched his apartment, they found that all of his utensils were stained with blood, and he was arrested shortly after. So
he definitely, like, he acted more on passion and wanting that than going into planning out, like, how to.
He was a very spree killer, you know.
Yeah.
He was very product based. He just wanted the blood.
Yeah.
That's all
Snapped.
he wanted. He pretty much. I mean, he was mentally insane.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know, but
it was right.
I mean, a lot of people are like mentally insane, but like a lot of people also conduct themselves in such a way where they can get by in life, and there's just something that just snaps in them, and they just do things on like the fly, kind of like what
he obviously didn't have that constructive thought process of trying to cover up things. He just
Exactly. He was
killer. Yeah,
fucking crazy.
Definitely.
But in the end, after 5 hours of deliberation, the jury took the side of the prosecution, and he was found guilty of 6 counts of murder and sentenced to death by gas chamber. However, his fellow inmates, I'm just going to end with this, his fellow inmates who knew of his crimes were fucking freaked out by him. Obviously. I mean, you're in jail with someone like that, that's fucking
That's the
terrifying.
person you avoid the hell out of. Just no eye contact, nothing. Just
Well, they all encouraged him to kill himself, which is what he did. He did that by overdosing on a stockpile of drugs that he was keeping. He was found dead in his jail cell day after Christmas, 1980.
Well, fuck, dude.
Damn.
Happy birthday, Jesus!
Well, Paula, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, so that is a brief run-through of the Vampire of Sacramento. And I think, obviously, as you have it written in your script there, I think we can take from this story. One thing we can definitely take from this story.
Do not drink blood.
Yeah, do not drink blood, guys.
Yeah.
In small doses, it can't really harm you, but I mean, other than like a teaspoon, but like, I don't know why you're gonna be like, oh, let me just, get some good blood. Like, I don't know why you're gonna do that, but if you do, only do that because you're gonna put yourself at risk for organ failure, iron overdose, and other problems that can obviously lead to death.
I mean, yeah, Richard Chase throughout his life had massive problems because of all the blood he was consuming. Don't drink blood. I know I see there's actually something, since we're on this topic, I saw this article talking about this real-life vampire couple, and we drink each other's blood, and all I'm thinking is, you guys are fucking stupid.
I bet that's the type of couple that really romanticizes the whole Romeo and Juliet thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's so...
Like Romeo and Juliet's their favorite romance novel. Like, you fucking idiots.
Motherfucker didn't even wait 5 minutes. He's like, nope, joining her.
Yeah.
Like, wait to see if something's going on. But
Oh, man.
to venture into the last part of this episode, we're going to hand it over to Matt for some pop culture references and stuff. The one thing I'm just going to start this off with is my top 3 favorite vampire films.
All right, what are they?
Obviously, 30 Days a Night, I mentioned at the beginning.
Fuck yes.
Queen of the Damned.
Queen of the Damned is awesome.
Yeah.
That movie is what introduced me to fucking, like, Static X and Korn.
Oh, it was such a dark gothic movie. I fucking loved it. But also Interview with the Vampire. But if I had to switch that out, I could only think of Fright Night.
Okay.
Because like the old 80s version. Yeah,
Okay.
old version because that was fun.
Yeah.
It was just really fun.
Yeah.
But
All solid choices.
yeah, I try.
Yes. So, it's like with pop culture, there's been so many uses of the vampire lore as it's basically free. It's like public domain. Pretty much anyone can write a vampire story, come up with their own ideas. Obviously, for better or worse. Looking at you, Twilight.
Yeah.
Which
Is clearly worse.
Stephanie Meyer, you wrote a heaping pile of shit.
I wouldn't go that far, but
Wow.
it was not good.
Yeah.
It was not good. I don't even care about the vampire sparkling. Fine, whatever. That doesn't piss me off. It's just the poor, horrible, depressing writing. It's the writing itself and the build up just for nothing to come about. I liked the idea that they all had like their own specific power, like psychic powers. Just if someone who actually was good at writing,
shots fired.
We are just calling an all-out war right now.
I've heard she's gotten better, but I'm sorry.
So basically, you're saying these books are a heaping pile
No.
of dog shit.
With my
I-
statement and your statement, we're gonna get fucking hate mail.
Oh well, I'm sorry.
Come at
sorry,
me.
not sorry. I read the books so I could say how much I hated them. It's like if you want to talk about how much you hate something, you gotta know about it. Anyway, getting past the bad vampires, you get to some it's like vampires like really popular usages. Like one of my favorites from childhood was a book series called Cirque du Freak, which followed the adventures of young Darren Shan and just his experiences in being introduced to a vampire named Larton Crepsley, and how this man turned him into a vampire and made him his assistant, which leads into a rather long 12-book series about his him discovering just what it means to be a vampire, what sort of things has to be done, the enemies of vampires, of vampire hunters, and they had their own separate subgroup of vampires, the ones who actually feasted on victims to kill them instead of just.
Sorry, I don't mean to derail. You stopped at one part. I thought you were going to say drank feces. Sorry, continue.
I don't know how you drink feces, unless it's like diarrhea.
Hey, you need
liquid
vampires, man.
diarrhea. Ugh.
Sustenance is sustenance, bruh.
God.
Get them gains.
God damn it. Another big one of my favorites, urban fantasy series now that's around with very unique concept of vampire is the Dresden Files series, which they're coming with. The author just finished the new book, which is coming out either the end of this year or early next year, which I'm very excited for. And includes in the Dresden Files series, there are 3 different courts of vampire. You have the Black Court, which is all of the old school Dracula undead vampires, with mystical powers and turning into bats, all that good stuff.
Okay.
You have the red court vampires, which are the ones who turn into like demonic monstrosities that feast on flesh and kill everyone.
Okay.
And then you have the white court, and those are basically the sex vampires.
Sex vampires.
Yes, they're the ones who drain on life, on like more like your life force by like mostly being used through sex.
We
Okay.
covered
They're
all
like
those already.
They're like succubus. Exactly. It's like I love that. I loved that concept of having 3 different ones because it encapsulates all the different, some of the like different lore of vampires, all bringing them up like they're all real. All the stories are real, just in their own way, have their own definition of how it works.
Vampires are invading again.
And then it's like, and then you have video games with the classic Castlevania
Fuck yes.
following like the Belmont family trying to eradicate Dracula and his horde, and later Symphony of the Night introducing Alucard, his son,
Alucard's
also trying
awesome.
to kill him.
Which
Alucard is fucking awesome.
Which is Dracula backwards, obviously,
Right.
because people, they didn't want to compare him to Dracula. They considered him the opposite, so that's why they
there
put his name.
originally his movie. There was a movie in, I think it came out in the either late 30s or early 40s, that featured Alucard as Dracula's son in the same vein as also introducing like his 3 wives, which also reminds me of another movie featuring vampires heavily, specifically Dracula and his wives, Van Helsing. The Hugh Jackman movie.
Oh,
which,
God.
Oh, man.
despite how cheesy it is, I still love that movie because it's
still
just
classic.
it's just fun. It's just fun. It's Hugh Jackman like right after around the same time as he first started doing Wolverine, and he comes out and does this movie, and it's like get to see Hugh Jackman turn into a werewolf. It's fucking awesome. It's stupid. It's funny. I just think it's cheesy and I love it. It's like not cheesy and actually like brilliantly written. And has been animated as well, is the Vampire Hunter D series, which is a Japanese novels and a graphic anime or manga, and animation featuring the son of Dracula as a vampire hunter hunting down vampires of every different. Like, one of the best ones being the ninth one, Bloodlust, featuring a group of vampires hunting him down, trying to kill him. And basically him just going around just basically killing all of them. Bloody, violent, a lot of nudity, a lot of stuff. A lot of awesome 80s anime.
In my head, I'm like imagining Neo from The Matrix, like just dodging vampires. Like, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
So
kind
Blade.
of.
Yeah, Blade. Let's not talk about Blade.
Okay, well,
What?
we have to talk about Blade.
You have to talk
I
about Blade. Blade is
Fucking hate that actor.
regardless of
you can
your
hate Wesley
opinion.
Snipes. That's fine. The comic, even the comic book character is a fascinating.
Yeah.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, fuck that shit.
Well then,
Okay.
we're gonna move on.
I have
from
no
that.
respect for that actor.
There's a fun thing people don't realize in the Marvel, other than Blade, that Dracula is actually in the Marvel universe and
Really?
has fought the Hulk during the Fear Itself series. Hulk gains a hammer, like a Thor type of Thor's hammer, comes war, and basically goes to war with Dracula, and it's basically an army of vampires and Dracula himself fighting the Hulk with like a supercharged Hulk.
Yeah.
It's fucking dope.
It sounds fun.
Right?
That's interesting.
Right?
Could the Hulk get turned into a vampire? That'd be
That's
terrifying. There's no
something.
hiding.
Oh man,
Oh,
a
no.
Hulk vampire.
Oh no.
There's no inviting that thing into your house because there is no house.
There's nothing left.
Hulk infect.
Oh god. Anyway, so let's see. We've covered that. I think you guys mentioned earlier Blood Rain.
Yeah, Blood Rain.
Yeah.
Blood Rain, that old
I
game.
think it was like for PS2.
yeah,
Got turned
Yeah.
into a subpar fucking film.
it always is a subpar film.
I would say
that I watched
subpar. I
at
say
like
bogey.
5 o'clock in the fucking morning while drinking Jim Beam, watching it. Fucking. Queen of the Damned though was so they took the character from the the Anne Rice book.
Well, Queen of the Damned is one of the books in the
Yeah,
series.
yeah.
Vampire Lestat, all that fun
Yes.
stuff.
And
Tom Cruise.
I liked it though because it showed him like transition from when he like first
Right, he grew.
First,
It's
got
character
changed,
development.
and he yes, but seeing him have to deal with loss and not having someone to stay by him, and realizing that he is by himself for a very long time, and trying to actually pull out trying to spread the secrets of the vampire council, because he would have rather died by breaking the law of them trying to hide their society than live that life.
Sorry, my mind's stuck on the invading forces that are trying to take down our studio right now. Fucking vampires. They don't like us talking about them. Everybody's shooting at
They
them
know.
outside and shit. We didn't give them the right type of bullets, and they just keep firing. And we're like, dude, aim for the knees at least. Just slow them down. We'll come out there and help you. But it doesn't seem like that's going to be working anytime soon. But what I was going to bring up is Dracula 2000. Have you guys seen that?
Oh God,
I have not.
Who the fuck hasn't seen Dracula 2000?
Me.
Isn't it you? But hold up, isn't it like almost? I'm not gonna say a knockoff, but like a mirrored image of what the Mummy was. Like, oh look, a sarcophagus. Let's take it. Let's open it. And they're fucking Dracula. And he's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
He gonna fuck you up.
Is that really what it is?
Yeah,
If that's the movie I'm thinking
pretty
of,
much.
Yeah.
That's the premise. They
You're talking
find his
Dracula 2000,
sarcophagus.
Dracula
Yeah.
Untold. Or
No, Dracula 2000. I haven't seen Dracula Untold. I've heard horrible
Yeah, I've heard
things.
horrible
Oh God. But real quick, okay, so I want to go like back to vampires with James Woods. Ooh, piece of candy. They are hunters trying to kill the main vampires, and they obviously piss off one of the like head vampires, and completely get slaughtered inside of their motel, and he's like trying to defeat the vampire single-handedly, I think, but I think he has the help of a female. I don't know. It's been forever since I watched that movie.
I have not seen it.
Good movie.
It's a fun
Good
movie.
fucking
fun
good movie.
slasher vampire.
It's not too bad, but there's one last thing I'm gonna say, and then I think we should just draw this to a close because we're just gonna keep talking about the undead again. Not that it's a bad thing, but we tend to go in circles after we're talking like dead bodies, reanimation, dead bodies. So it's a vicious cycle, isn't it?
It's a vicious cycle being a necromancer.
Yeah, I think it's a necrophiliac.
No, that's your avenue.
Yeah.
That's not
we
my
all,
avenue.
We all figured that out earlier.
You discussed that earlier. Now I'm
Shut up,
concerned.
Meat Hankey.
You make me.
No, I don't want to touch you. That's what he does with those dead fucking bodies.
So what's the last thing you wanted to bring up?
That row fucks corpses.
No,
But other than
don't try to
that,
spit it on me. You're the one who.
I'm not
fucks
spitting
corpses.
anything on you, man. You're the one that masturbated to dead girl.
You're
But that's
spitting
another
me.
story.
You're
Another
spitting
story
me.
is actually the game Vampire. What was it? Vampire the Masquerade. That was an old fun game.
I don't think I've
He's
played
just
it.
making
shaking
a
his
se-
head
I
at
feel like
me.
they're making
Don't
a
be a
sequel.
dick.
What? You dishing it out? Can't dish it back?
Didn't they announce a sequel?
I heard something about that a long time ago, but I haven't seen
I thought
anything. It
was
might be out there.
E3. I don't know.
Vampire the Masquerade. It's like a Diablo-esque type of game. You're venturing around, shit like that. It was all right. I played the first one on like Windows 98 or something.
Yeah.
A long fucking time ago.
Quick tribute: Lost Boys
Lost Boys
from Dusk Till Dawn. Priest, which was a comic that got turned into a film. Fucking great, because they're vampires. Like the vampires that turned the humans into vampires were like these like four-legged like
They were more beast than
creatures.
man.
Yeah, with no eyes and like huge things
Indeed.
that lived in caves.
One last little thing. Anyone remember like the early days of Facebook when they had all the games like there was the Mafia games?
Yeah.
Anyone remember playing like the vampire like
No.
role playing game? There was a vamp.
Is that like the Mafia one?
It's like the
Vampire
Mafia one, but it was a vampires.
I kind of remember
And you could
that.
just like make a vampire like do all these click and point and click adventure thing on Facebook. Then this is like 2009, 2010 Facebook. So.
Oh man, that's really going back.
Right?
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think we're gonna draw this episode to a close.
Because we could go on forever on this.
Yeah, it's the end day. What do you expect? We love the rotting. Apparently,
this was fun. It's always fun.
Indeed. So we hope you enjoyed this episode of Origins of Horror Myths and Legends featuring the vampire. Who knows what next month is gonna detail?
Yes. I don't even think we really figured it out yet.
I've got a bunch of scripts written up, so
we'll figure it out soon.
Pick one out of the hat.
Yeah, pretty much.
So as always, like, subscribe, follow, click that bell, stay notified.
Yeah, head on over to Facebook where you can join us live occasionally when we record on there. And why not give us a like and probably a review being like, I like your voice. Or I like the page. I like clicking this button. Just say something. We want to know that you're there and we want to say hi.
Yeah, we really like it when we hear from our fans. So if you like what you hear, let us know that. We'll keep making more stuff that you do.
Also, if you're on Instagram, go to Let's Talk Horror and you can see some of the behind-the-scenes things that we have going on. Like, we just got our new banner!
I'm so excited for it. I can't wait till we get that up.
Yeah, so pictures of that will be up eventually. So if you want, head on over there. You can see things behind the studio. And until next time, we will see you Wednesdays at 6.
Later.
Peace.
Keep reanimating.
No.
Witch's Hill.